moment of silence for all the male feminist cucks watching this video. They have low attention spans. They won't be able to finish the video. And if they do, they're gonna hate on it. So we're gonna wait for 10 seconds for them to just leave, man. 10 seconds. I want to ask you a simple question. No matter how old you are right now, do you feel fatherless? As if there's a void in your psyche, in your boyhood. Do you feel like you lacked a father? Society has failed men in every single regard when it comes to, the schooling system, right till marriage and right till death. This video is going to be a long video. Men face injustice and double standards in careers, in schooling system, when it comes to marriage, when it comes to getting girls, when it comes to every single facet of male life has men confused. There is no blueprint of living life as a man which is readily available to everybody. So boys are confused naturally. They're like, what the fuck do we do in all these different situations? I wish to present to you an argument of all these various facets and how society is failing men in those facets, or is presenting double standards in those facets, or is not optimizing those facets for helping boys grow and learn. We'll start from school, where we know that boys learn in action, not in a fucking classroom with four walls like a cage. There's a reason why boys naturally like cars so much. Like girls, they're just not obsessed with cars. Very few. And every guy is obsessed with cars. If there is a nice Porsche just going down the street, every guy will stare at it. Not every girl will stare. She'll stare at it, but she won't understand why are these boys obsessed so much. That's the thing I'm talking about. Right down to our interests, boys, girls, different. Okay, so it must make sense that learning is also different for boys and girls. The current schooling system, designed where you sit in a classroom, you shut the fuck up, you do what the teacher tells you, like a little cuck. That's for girls. I strongly believe that's for girls. Because boys like me and other boys in the classroom, we just couldn't fucking pay attention. We wanted to go out, we wanted to learn, we wanted to do this, we wanted to do that. Why not cater learning for the different genders? Why not do that? Firstly, it's a completely feminine environment where firstly teacher tells you what to do and it's like cuckery. Secondly, you can't raise your voice, you have to be like suppressed, you're like fully suppressed. If you misbehave, you get punished, this and that. Okay, literally all the teachers are women. Okay, so it's like they're pushing down their values and their view of life onto these young boys. I would go as far as to say, why are we even learning the same things? Why, when we know that girls are less interested in, STEM fields, are we pushing it down their throat? And why are we pushing like artistic, creative things down men's throat when we know that's not what they're interested in? If you would give PE sessions to boys, like PE, we'll have PE sessions once a week, that to one hour. How is that enough? You tell me. Boys, if they had the choice, they would be in PE for 3 hours every single day. Girls would they would be happy with once a week or thrice a week max. Like they don't really give a fuck about like football and all these bullshit sports. Like they honestly they do not. You'll see in schools, the smartest people are boys. Like on the top are boys. Girls are pretty much like all like smart, and the dumbest kids are all boys. Always are boys. The dumbest kids. That dumb kid in school was me at a point where I could not understand what the fuck is going on in these classes. Why am I sitting here? I just could not understand. So I used to shout, make the teacher cry, do all this crazy stuff. But that's part of the game, man. When you don't cater to the boys, they're gonna rebel. The boy is in a bitchy environment in school. Then he comes home, which is supposed to be his safe haven, and instead he's bombarded with bullshit at his house again. He gets cucked by his parents essentially. Every child likes to believe that they gave their child freedom, but that is not the case, because they give you only a pseudo freedom. They give you only a pseudo version of freedom. It's not real. It's inauthentic. It's ineffective. I'll give you my parents' only example because it's the best example. I left school when I was in eighth grade, and I did like a bunch of crazy shit. Now, in their mind, it's like we've always given you so much freedom. But listen, in order for me to leave eighth grade, what was the risk? You tell me, what is the risk? Like, what is the risk of leaving school? So keep in mind, I've not left the education system. It's just that I'll be homeschooled. Okay, so I will study from home. What is the risk? There is literally no risk. So when your parents say, "Ki, we've always allowed you freedom," yes, but in the things where there is no risk. You understand? And now and now like when I complain where, or you're not allowing me this and that, I've evolved from that. I no longer complain about it. But in my earlier years, I would say, "Arey, you don't let me move out, this and that." When I wanted to move out initially when I was 17, that time I saw how much freedom I have. I started briefly a real estate photography company in Pune when I was living with my parents. And I actually got an inquiry of, "Hi, can you come over and take photos for us for our home?" It was 30 minutes away from my house. I told my parents, "Oh, I was so hyped. Hey, look, I got my first like inquiry. They're willing to pay me 20,000 rupees, this and that." You know what my father's reaction was? He shouted at me. I do not know why, but with the knowledge I have now, he shouted at me because he thought it was too risky to go out into a random person's house, and the area was far. This is what I'm talking about. It's a pseudo freedom that your parents give you. Every parent likes to think, "Oh, we're the best, this and that." But when it comes to the risky stuff where boys thrive, where men thrive, they wanna cuck out and not allow you to do those things. Now I've evolved from that. Now I do whatever the fuck I want. But because I realize how detrimental that is. Usually in these cases, a father comes in, helps you live as close to death as possible, on the edge of death. Because think about when you were the happiest in your life ever. We all have at least one of those experiences. You were the happiest in your life when you were on the edge of death. Be honest right now. And if you haven't experienced that feeling, something's wrong with you. It just goes to show how badly you've been cucked by society. I was on the edge of death when I was climbing a mountain once. And it was just, I was alone, nobody, like nothing. It was literally like you're like climbing, and if you look down, it's a free fall, like proper free fall to the base of the mountain, like proper free fall. You don't understand. I was on the edge of death. I was in this position for 5 minutes. I was scared as fuck, and then like what got me up is like, I'm not gonna fucking die. I'm not gonna fucking die. I'm not gonna fucking die. And I went up. So that's the thing, man. These are the risks you have to take, which your parents will never allow you. And basically, this is how parents cuck you and cuck men from not evolving. And where the father should come in, he's not coming in because he's been emasculated himself by society. So how will he train you? And that's where a father figure comes in, where if it's not your father, it's gonna have to be a father figure. I have one right now, but I'll be honest, like whenever I'm in his proximity, it feels so good. I have a video coming soon, which is a full guide on how to go from boy to man. I suggest you subscribe to the channel right now to see it in a few days. This is not the topic of the video. In this video, we are just going to highlight the problem, which is how society is failing men. One last thing that your parents cuck you in is they give you a fake view of the entire world. They form beliefs that aren't true, but are moral, okay? But nobody is moral. People like to think they are moral, but Nobody is moral because they do one thing but then they sacrifice it for another. They like to say ki, are you should take this career, this is the way. They tell you how to live life basically. You don't look at girls this way, you don't do this, you don't do that. Like it's all like you don't. Okay, then what the fuck do I do then? Who's gonna tell me that? And then when it's eventually time to pick a career, the entire world fools you into taking shitty careers. Be honest and tell me right now, what career is your family telling you to pursue badly? What career? Whatever it is, write it down. Now, I will ask you another question, follow up question. Is that career very docile and weak and submissive? Like an IT job, for example, where you are in a cubicle, you're sat with bad posture like this, in your little computer doing this with your glasses like this. These are the kind of jobs society is promoting men to take, where it's a shitty job. I mean, like the work could be fun, but that does not deny the fact that it removes you from your true essence of being a man. You are basically saying that I'm expected to sit on a computer with my mouse and keyboard, and it's an AC air conditioned environment, so it's fully artificial. I don't get sunlight all day. It's a docile, so I'm sitting all day, and you're telling me to enjoy that. That is not the kind of job that men enjoy. Back in the day, when literally every single man was into agriculture of some sort or in some kind of physical labor, no one was upset with their life. No one was thinking, "Arey, is this my purpose? This is not." Because physical work for guys is just naturally just so fun. The more you sit down, the more you stay in the house. Something happens. It comes from the classroom. In the classroom, teacher tells you to shut the fuck up. And in the modern day, when you grow up in your career, in your job, your boss will tell you to shut the fuck up, and you'll have to listen to another guy like a slave cuck, not having independent thought, independent will, independent, decision making. You'll have none of that, and you'll be forced to be like look into a computer and do some Excel bullshit, bro, which is not even fulfilling, which will reduce your testosterone, which will make you weak, which will make you a cuck. And this stems from the two examples we talked in the beginning, the school and the parents, where we are pressured by school and by parents to pick careers that are more stimulating than fulfilling, which means that basically we are pressured into taking careers which pay well, basically, without even a consideration about the mental health or the physical health. नहीं वो सब छोड़ो. It needs to pay well. It needs to pay well. We need to tell our relatives. By what about your own relative in your house, the kid, the son? When it comes to starting a business in your career, let's say you don't want to take a job, if you're somebody like me and you wanted to start a business when you're young or whatever, oh no, business is too risky. Arey, no, you should see research more. Don't directly go into it. But what the fuck, directly don't go into it? If I directly don't go into it, what will I do? Your schooling system and your parental system has convinced you to not take risk. But that is where a man thrives. What did I tell you earlier? A man thrives when he is on the edge of death. And the closest thing that comes to being on the edge of death is risk. I made a video about risk up on the screen somewhere, but go watch that. I tell you about all the risks I've taken and how you can take it as well. But taking risk is not in the scope of this video, so we're gonna move on. Any boy, any man, he doesn't care if he makes money or not. He cares if he just took the risk. It's like cold approaching a girl, for example. You don't care if you get her Instagram or not. You don't even give a fuck about her. You just care that you went up and you asked. You just care you went up and you tried. That's about being that's literally encapsulates what and how men want to live. Which is, we want to take risk. We don't give a fuck about the results, honestly. We just care if we tried. But now this young boy is older now and he's ready for marriage. Wow. His career, he's an IT job. He must get a girl, he must get an arranged marriage now. He must start looking for girls now. Okay, fair enough. Start looking for girls. The state of husbands right now in a majority of the marriages is that they are suppressed and they cannot speak out to their wives. They have no free will. You think I'm joking? I am not joking. Husbands, they are not able to speak out, bro, today. They're too scared of speaking out because they're afraid of their wife. Or they're afraid of her judgment. They want to keep her happy. These clowns and swaths of men that do not know how to even navigate your wife. It stems from, again, society has told you treat girls nicely, this and that. So you do that, so you do that in your marriage, but then you'll be the one washing the dishes. Like the amount of guys washing dishes, bro. Like what the fuck? Like we went from killing and murdering and raiding villages to washing the dishes. Think of what a downgrade that is. We went from we went from all that. We went from glory, honor, killing to changing the diapers. And these guys are not speaking up. Why? Because they're too afraid to do it. They can't confront their wives. They can't they're too afraid of the wife's judgment. I know this, motherfucker. Like you can't even lie to me. Like I know this because I see it. Not to mention that the divorce laws in India and around the world are blatantly sexist against men. Blatantly sexist against men. What do you mean that I have to give 50% of my assets to my ex-wife and she gets to keep the child? What the fuck is that? If you see the top 10 richest women in the world right now, all of them come from divorce money. What the hell does that say? So is the strategy for making money for girls now to just marry somebody rich and then divorce them? I know personally one guy. Personally, he got divorced. He owes the party. He doesn't owe. He gave it actually. He had to give them 10 lakh rupees. 10 lakh rupees is a lot, bro, for people in India. And you're saying you just have to give it away to somebody, to a girl that initiates the divorce. We know that 80% of the divorces are initiated by women. I know that to be 100% true. And if you ask any divorce lawyer, they'll say the same as well. You don't know as a man these days where the girl can abuse the system or not. In US, you can still hack this law by signing a prenup, which is basically an agreement which says, okay, if we do get divorced, these are the terms and conditions. You will not get my assets, this and that. But guess what? In India, there is no system of a prenup because a prenup is basically, there is a law which is telling you that 50% of this and this goes to the wife, and a prenup is basically circumventing the law, so that a document which cancels out the law is not lawful according to India, which is fair enough. So I have researched this. There is no option for you to safely get married in India. There is no option. So either you have to get married in another country or not get married under the government. And think about how hard those things would be. If you want to get married outside, you'll have to have a lot of fucking money. And if you want to get married without the government, your parents from both sides will attack you almost. They'll be like, why? And they won't understand your concerns. They genuinely won't understand your concerns. When you tell them ki, if in case the divorce happens, I do not wish for my assets to be split, they would see it as a threat. They would see it as you're doing something wrong where, so, wait, hold up. He doesn't want to get married, so surely something is wrong. Surely he's up to something. This is India, bro. This is fucking crazy. Like, they'll make a TV series out of it, bro. Sony Plus, bro. Sony Plus TV series out of it, bro. I'm telling you. Usko shaadi nahi karna hai, this and that. Bro, it'll be so crazy. If you can pull that off without the government, you just do the circle thing or you do the whatever, however you get married in Islam, I don't know. If you can get that done in your way without the paperwork, you're sorted. But that's going to be a challenge in of itself. Let's say you do get married, like a little cuck. You signed to the government. Now the government has you listed as married, and now you have kids. The amount of kids in the modern day that do not respect their fathers, the amount of kids that do not give a fuck about their fathers, that lie to their fathers, that disrespect them, it's crazy. It stems from the father not really knowing what the fuck to do. The father has been confused into thinking that he just needs to be a second mother, that the mothers, that the two parents are the same, where the way one acts, the other has the same roles and responsibilities in raising a child belong to both mother and father. That creates a void in the child. Why did I ask you if you feel fatherless in the start of the video? It comes back to here. You had a father, yes, but he wasn't present because he was working in some stupid, meaningless job. In your eyes, for I don't know if he's finding it meaningful, but to your eyes, it was complete bullshit, meaningless work. You want your father to be masculine, like you want him to be a role model to you. As in, you look up to him. Fathers these days, they have nothing to show for. They have a shit body. They're on meds. They're taking, like, they might be like into substances like alcohol, this and that. There is nothing that you can look up to in your father. It becomes worse when social media exists as well. So you see all these crazy men. So an internet has at a large extent saved a lot of boys from absolute disaster, because the closest thing to a father I would have right now, if my father is not present, would be on the internet, where I would look up to some of these other guys that essentially I see a father in them. But that is not enough. That is really not enough. My granddad recently told me, we were on the farm and it was really sunny and it was really hot and I was slumping. I'm like, oh my god, it's so sweaty, this and that. Then when we came back, he just looked at me and he said, you've become soft. And that hit me hard. You know why? Because I wish my father told me these things. I wish my father was the kind of person that is brutally honest with my slackings, because that's how men are. We call each other out. And instead, he didn't know what, like, I don't know. I still don't know to this day if we should blame our fathers or not. One excuse is, "Arey, he didn't know better." But one excuse, but the other side is that, then how do I know this information? How do I know this information? If we can excuse him for not knowing this information, how do I have this information? He could have read books. He could have studied this. He could have done that. He could have done this. There's so much things he could have done in an attempt. But no. Most fathers, they're washing the dishes, they're doing this bullshit. They're not even a role model on the remotest level. Keep in mind, role model does not mean you have Lamborghini and money and fame, this and that. Role model just means that you are masculine. That's it. This is not a masculinity video, so I will not explain to you what masculinity is. It just means that a son can lean on his father when times are difficult. When there is a guide, almost there's a hand reaching for you, and those hands often come in the form of brutal reality. How my granddad said, "Oh, you've become soft." Like with my granddad, there's no slacking. There is no slacking. What he tells me to do, I do exactly, because I see him as an inspiration. He's not jacked. He's not infinitely rich. There's nothing like special. Like as in, there is nothing crazy. You don't have to do something crazy. You just have to be that guy. You just have to be masculine enough, like to the point where you're not embarrassing yourself. There is no slacking with my granddad. What he does, I do. With my father, that is not the case, because I do not even respect him. And that is the same for every single person watching this. A majority of people watching this that feel fatherless. And I sympathize with you. I empathize with you. You all, because it's a deep void we have in our psyche of fatherlessness, and I wonder how we can fix it. When it comes to girls, men have been completely lied to about how to get girls. And you can see the results for yourself. 99% of young people right now are single. They do not know what the fuck to do to get girls. Like, think of the classic ways of how social media tells you to get a girlfriend. We were taught how to get a girlfriend by the internet. not our fathers. Again, like fathers should be telling you this, and instead fathers are now saying girls are bad, this and this. You shouldn't be with girls, this and that. Like at least my father's like, it's a religious country. We are a religious country, so they like to say all this religious bullshit, but they forget like we are boys at the end of the day. Like we need what we need. Okay, so we learn from the media. The media tells you, if you see like those WikiHow guides. I know all of you have seen it, but those WikiHow guides of buy a flower, ask her out on a date, do this, do that, step by step. Bro, oh my god, those are funny, bro. I was addicted to those at one point. I've read every single WikiHow on how to get girls. Now after like 5 years, I know they're all wrong, and I feel bad. I feel bad for the kids reading them right now. From childhood, boys are told, oh, show your feminine side. If you show your feminine side, you'll be called a gay boy. They say to young boys, don't sexualize women. They won't become your girlfriends that way. But the dudes that are fucking the girls, they are sexualizing the girls. It's just betrayal. Like what society tells you on how to navigate girls and how it's actually there. It's two completely different things. They say don't chase girls. It's not appropriate to look at girls in a sexual way. But the times where my girl is more wet is when I look at her sexually and I make sexual remarks. Or when I chase a girl, that's when she even looks at me. Otherwise, she doesn't even know I exist. Unless you're in the top 20% of men, like with like crazy following and this and that, the girls will message you first. Very few girls will actually come up to you in real life and say, or like message you or even talk to you or do anything. Like they'll give you signs for you to come talk to them. They tell you things that aren't even real. They tell you what a female is attracted by, this and that. If the blueprint of getting girls was correct, which is shown to you by society and the media and your parents, then you should like be having loads of girls right now. But you don't, because we've been cucked, we've been lied to. On a systemic level, we've been lied to. Now, if we go out to society at large and we see the society, how it treats men, the double standards. Look at how men are portrayed in movies. Look at all these like Tarak Mehta and all. There is not. I haven't seen Animal, the movie Animal, but from what I've heard about the movie, it's quite masculine, it's quite raw. So I'm expecting those are the kind of movies, those are the kind of male role models that men want to look up to. That's why they're so popular, these movies with men. All these murdering movies, these Rocky, it clicks something in you. You see an inspiration. But look at how men are portrayed in modern media. They're all gay, they're wearing a little shirt with their makeup on, with their fucking lipstick and this and that. They just don't want men to be inspired. As simple as they just want them to be little loser cucks. They tell you to show your emotions, but when you start crying, they say, oh, look at him, he's crying, he's got a small dick. How often do you hear girls say, I want a guy that's 6 foot, I want a guy that's this much money, I want a guy that's, I don't know, like whatever they prefer, man. He's smart, charismatic, he makes me laugh, he should be confident, this and that. It's a massive fucking bucket list of a lifetime. Fair enough. But when I say I don't want a girl that's fat, and when I say I don't want a girl that doesn't know how to cook food, they destroy me. The public destroys me. How the fuck is that offensive? If the girl can say that I want a guy that's 6 foot, height, you can't even control height. But when I say my preferences, which is I don't want a fat fuck, I don't want a fat hobo piece of shit, which is controllable by the way by the woman, she can actually eat less and lose the weight. I'm the bad guy. So her preferences are all right, her preferences are tolerated, but when it comes to my preferences, the world will criticize me. This is the double standard, men and women. When girls, they wear, like super revealing clothes, they'll say, you go girl. But then at the same time, they say, don't sexualize girls. When it comes to the wage gap, you've been told your entire life that men get paid more than girls get paid less. No consideration to the fact of the various factors that can actually affect this, okay, men work in more dangerous, undesirable jobs than women. Have you ever seen a woman on an oil rig? The amount of men doing undesirable jobs, unfulfilling jobs, the disgusting, dirty jobs that the girls don't want to talk about. They want to say, "Arey, in IT jobs there is only 40% female representation, so we want more representation. We want quota, this and that." But in the gutter there is 100% male representation. What about that? You don't want to work there, kya? What happened now? Females and males, if you see like the kind of like courses that they take, like in terms of studying and interest and all, I said at the beginning, women are naturally like more prone to take psychology type of courses, the arts and this and that, the sociology, this and that. Men are more likely to take STEM subjects, which is a fact. Like this is raw data. Like guys, they just want to like make money ruthlessly, doing some stock market work and this and that. There are few girls that are into that, but not a lot. They don't really give a fuck about the stock market, and they obsessively caring about making lots of money. They just don't care about that. So that's why, as a result of having different preferences, these different jobs will obviously pay differently. It's absolutely obvious. So I don't know where the complaints are coming from. Men do not get paid more than women. As simple as that. And not to say there is this completely unfair expectation on men, where we are expected to make this much money, this and this and this. Well, there is not a single expectation for women. If we expect something from a woman, that's sexist, or that's misogynist. The reason why they are able to do all of this is because they have divided men. There are two camps right now. One we have like is the in the start of the video, the male feminists that just left, the cucks. And then we somewhat have the people in the middle. They don't really know what to do. The guys that are lost. And then we have the guys that exactly know what to do, taking advantage of the system, this and that. So knowing that men are competitive by nature, and the biggest motivating factor for a man is women, the system can never change, because there is one set of women that is saying all this feminism bullshit, and men, they have to agree with the female in order to like impress them. Like men have all these fucked up methods of like actually attracting girls. Many men, they don't really give a damn about feminism. They just want to associate with that camp, so they could be around more girls, so they could maybe get a girlfriend by chance. This is how men operate. And if this is sounding offensive to you as a woman, I'm sorry to break it to you. This is the reality. This is not just shallow men like me. This is every man, where he does certain things only for the sake of attracting girls. Now we have the other camp where they're super successful, they're getting all the girls in the world. Why would they want to change the system? If the girls want all these 6 foot, crazy muscular, crazy rich Lamborghini people, like 365 days on all this bullshit, be fucked on a yacht and this and that. There are guys out there fulfilling this. Why would they want to change the system to benefit the peons at the bottom that are into feminism? Feminism is actually helping them, because the girls, they don't like the chumps anymore. And I've seen these male feminists, they more and more people every single day, more and more guys, they criticize other guys. They say they come into the world with a sense of moral superiority, where they like to say that they are superior than every other man, but they are more emotional. They show their emotions. They take care of women. They are there for their wife. They are there for their girlfriend. So there are all these different camps on the male side. It's only when we will unite will this problem be eliminated forever. You've seen what happens when men unite in the past. You've seen what happens when men unite. When countries unite, bro. When there's a war happening, Pakistan versus India, every single man, like his blood is boiling in the country, in Pakistan and in India. Every single man is ready to give away his life to like that time girls go out of the window. If you give a man a purpose like that, men will unite. But they have no interest in doing so, obviously. If we talk about the solution, You must first understand that you are being cucked right now. You must understand the cuckery that is happening in society at large. So you have understood it quite well in this video. Second part is that you will feel like a man when you are on the edge of death. Remember that. So take risks and be on the edge of death as much as possible. A man likes to be in control. A solution to a large part of your unmanliness or feminine way of thinking and all of this is like, when you will be in control, you will feel more masculine, in control of your relationship, in control of your wife, where you say something and like you say you don't want to wash the dishes and it's acceptable for, like, she respects you enough to agree to that. Not ki, why are you not washing the dishes, I'm tired, legs up, sitting like back like this, bro. These wives are disrespectful in marriages because they don't respect the man. It always comes to that. So you want to be in control. So you'll feel like a man when you are in control all the time. When you're in control of your body and of your mind, like when you truly realize the potential you have as a person, where if you put in effort, you'll actually get results. When we talk about the cuck programming, when men are confused about the career and this and that, what to do in their lives, a man doesn't give a fuck about the future. He does whatever the fuck he wants and owns it. You want to do this career, do it. You want to do that career, do it. It doesn't matter, because the money won't make you happy as a man. The risk will make you happy. The fact that you tried doing something crazy will make you happy. Trust me on that one. A wild man, he does not conform to society. He does whatever the fuck he wants and he owns it. Living like this will be your first steps into your journey into becoming a man, full-fledged. But I have a massive video like this coming later this week on telling you how you go from boy to man. I have not gone from boy to man. I will only tell you what the experts know. So just subscribe to the channel right now if you want to see it. Like the video if you like this one, and follow me on Instagram as well if you like the video. If you want to DM me there, you can DM me there as well. This was a long video, but I think this truly explains to you the situation of how men are being cucked in society. This was just making you problem aware. Now we'll come to solving the problem. That's all for this video, and I'll see you in the next one, and take care.